America is very good at living in the myth of America. You can't train away bias. You can't train away bigotry. He knows that he can step on the line where freedom of speech is, and that the Supreme Court will not slap his hand away.
And those people haven't given Black people reparations. Right. That needs to be addressed. We are living in literal serfdom. This is like a new medieval happening. This impacts everybody in the United States.
They cannot stand us to have anything.
And once they have established this as a precedent, they are going up the chain.
It has nothing to do with the American people.
Nothing.
It is all about power.
What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations. I'm 2020 was Podcast News Award winner. I almost forgot. And 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And now with that new intro, I always have to do this. So I always have to do that. That's just incorporated into the introduction. So as always, I want to say welcome, everybody. We are getting ready for another epic conversation called State of Things with Aisha, Jill, and LaLa. So you know what? I ain't wasting time. We're going to bring them up because it's just another normal week in America. So let's bring up normal Americans. What's going on, family? How we doing?
Oh,
great.
We hold no by thread.
Oh my gosh. How's the week been? Good. Okay. Well, before we get to our main conversation topics, I think Aisha is frozen. Yes, she is frozen. So I'm going to take her off screen till she gets. She's frozen. I don't know what's going on. She's been having some challenges.
She froze like a queen. You notice that? She was like,
I know.
Yeah.
I thought she was just listening.
So how the week has been okay? Yes, Aisha goes in the back because you're ugh. So it sounds like she may be having some connectivity. I think she's back. Let me give a try here. So let me just switch back. Yes, I agree. Aisha says, okay. It's where she's fighting it. She's frozen. Yeah, she's more frozen.
Oh my goodness.
She's Aisha, you are frozen. Or you're moving quite slow. So she's kicking herself up. All right. Well, so before we get to our main conversation topics, people say hello, Jen Myers. Hello, Jen Myers. Hope you're doing fine.
Hey.
Absolutely. And Jen, one of these days, you got to come on here.
True.
One of these days, when you're ready, you got to come on here. But we got main topics to chat about tonight. But Jill,
yes,
I've been watching all y'all posts this week, and there's stuff we ain't gonna get to chat about in full. But Jill, what you got against Caitlyn Jenner?
Oof.
Oh, way to start.
I think that Caitlyn Jenner is a danger to the LGBTQ. I think that the platform just seems really insincere. All this big money making scheme. I don't know. I don't take Caitlyn Jenner seriously as a human being, let alone as a representation of anyone in the trans community. And I feel that Caitlyn Jenner incites more violence against people in the trans community. And I'm wondering, if I'm just being foolish, I mean, maybe Caitlyn Jenner needs another reevaluation about what the status of their gender or whatever is going on, because I just don't understand how you could be so against everything in a community that has embraced you, and when everybody else turned their backs, or maybe no one else did. I mean, Caitlyn Jenner seems to be doing fine money wise and, connection wise, but sorry, to go against Dylan Mulvaney, Nike putting Dylan Mulvaney, who is a trans influencer, in one of their campaigns. It's none of your freaking business, number one. Number two, Caitlyn, how old are you? If you sports bras, what have you ever done for any women, let alone a trans woman, just in general, except cause pain and heartache? So for me, Caitlyn Jenner is non-existent in my brain, and I'm going to just stick with Bruce because Bruce hasn't evolved.
Okay. All right.
A dress does not make Bruce a woman. I'm sorry. Just because it's really wrong. There's just no substance there, Dr. Vibe, no substance, and a real critical issue, especially with what we're dealing with, suicides in the community and all of that. People need support and allies. And if you don't have anything good to say, shut the what up, because the reality is nobody even needed to hear from Caitlyn Jenner. Stop letting Caitlyn Jenner even be the spokesman every time something goes on in the trans community. Stop going and putting a microphone and even asking. Nobody cares.
Jill, just want to interrupt. Your microphone is rubbing on your blouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So just speak. So when you're moving around, it's sort of rubbing it. So
I'm
just
sorry.
wanted to, no problem. Just want to.
It's just my feeling is that stop giving Caitlyn Jenner a platform in a community that Caitlyn Jenner clearly detests and wants to see crumbled to a nothing. Caitlyn Jenner supports Republican policies that are totally opposite to anything that would contribute or benefit the trans community. So as far as I'm concerned, Caitlyn should be kicked out of the club.
LaLa, anything you want to add?
No, I absolutely agree. It's the enemy within. And I don't have any problems whatsoever with trans, none of the community, but you don't know which direction he's going to take. And it's always against the good for that community. So I can't say that I feel that he or she is representing the community properly. And having a child within that community, he's expressed that that is doing more harm than good. So, having that close to be able to talk to someone within the community, understand and support that community, and being an ally, I wish somebody would with my child, and knowing how they feel about it, then I stand firm with them. I don't believe he's not there to help. And you know what? Anytime he can interject himself somewhere, he does. He doesn't belong there. That conversation wasn't for him. But therefore, he wanted to put his 2 cents in. But, that's the Kardashian family, if you ask me.
True. So, Regina, good evening. Regina says, the enemy within. Well put, LaLa. Mm-hmm. We got some other friends that are here. We got Blue Rains is in the house. Good evening. Wig Mania is in the house. And also we got Fitness IQ Cam from the Toronto area chiming in. So, yes. So we got the ladies, I think it's probably all ladies in the house, whether it's on the screen or watching on a screen. Nice. We're all in tonight. Anything else we want to chat up before we get into some non-controversial conversation? Anything else? So for those people who were with us last week, Jill and Aisha were in New York meeting for the first time. True. At a great event. The Triple Threat 40 event, and now the videos from the event are now on YouTube, so check them out. All of them very, very good, and we are working to get the organizer on, I don't know if it's on this platform, but another platform we're working on to get her on, have an elongated conversation. But yeah, go check them out. Really good stuff. And Jill and Aisha hopefully will be back with us. I 100% agree with what you were telling us. I watched some of the videos. Wow. Like some serious knowledge bombs dropped there, and the depth of research.
Oh, they were so wonderful.
Wow.
Everyone was just incredibly gifted with how and eloquent in their presentations and thoughtful, and it's really something that even his own estate has failed to be able to do or contribute to Prince's.
Sad. That's
It's
so sad.
because the fans really got him, his intellectual capabilities, they got him. I don't think that maybe his friends and family didn't. They only saw, other people see you the way, and then, it kind of says a lot. I mean, just for me, I think any group, a lot of fans, perhaps not fans. I mean, in a way, it's like they just knew him. They knew where he was going, and they were prepared to stay on that journey, and just so respectful. And even had me questioning things like, oh yeah, maybe that was it. And putting pieces of the puzzle together. So yeah.
Watch the blouse, Jill. Watch the
Oh
blouse.
gosh, it's so strange. Maybe it's my hair.
No, it's just when it's rubbing against your blouse. So I don't know. If you hold it like that, it's no problem. It doesn't
Yeah, I
rub.
will.
But
I'll
when you're
just hold it.
okay. So Jen says, Jill and Aisha, the symposium presentations were fabulous.
Yeah, thank you. I thought so.
Absolutely. And Regina says, sometimes family members who are not intellectuals are threatened by those who are.
Yeah.
Well, it's always interesting. I always say one of the many things I chirp out once in a while is that it's very interesting to watch family when there's a birth, when there's a transition, or if there's a divorce.
Right. I mean, it is important because what I did want to say about it, what I found is that I think in the past couple of years, we've gotten caught up with, who's been writing this and who sang this and who sang what. And at the end of the day, there's a little bit that's been robbing him in the last years of his talent and his capabilities. When people do this, they call it all into question and plant seeds of doubt, which I find kind of maybe not cool. So even when people come back and say, oh, he wrote this about you, Jill, or he did that, it's nice, but it doesn't have to be the end all be all to put together this composite of how somebody created a song or their creativity, because the reality is most creative people that I've known from Marvin to meeting all these people, Stevie, all of them, how pedestrian of us to even assume that everything they come up with and write is so, like, oh, it's about the spinster down the street. And I find, we go through this now with like, I wrote this too, and it's nice, but maybe it just takes away from what he contributed. And it's definitely a lot of egos bumping around, because when I look at like when people, in the passing of Ryuichi Sakamoto, you don't have a group of people running around going, ooh, I did this and I did that, and ooh. It's just something that happens within our community. And I don't bloody get it. I don't like it. If you wrote a song with Prince and you didn't contest it when it was written and put out, shut up. Don't say anything else about it. And you know who you are. It's done. It's tired. It's because it really diminishes a lot of the stuff he did do. So to see this symposium and them not get into the drama, how fabulous. How fabulous. I loved it. And D'Angela, she is such a respectful and such a thoughtful and intelligent woman. And her team and all these power women there, they were just powerful. They had all of these women have like just that power, and you could feel it of our Black women in the world right now. There's a real gift going on and a real transmission of energy and blessings. So yeah, we're definitely very present. They were. Okay. Anyway, that's enough.
No problem. Anything else you want to add, LaLa? She's having technical challenges. Haven't seen her yet.
Your phone.
But
I literally watched everything. I mean, about 90% of the symposium, I was there watching online, and that's saying something because It's hard to sit and listen to something you feel like people are droning on about, but everyone had such wonderful points. And you could tell that there was just so much love for him, period, that it makes it almost impossible to turn it off or turn away from it. It was just priceless.
Sure.
Okay. All right. As Aisha's trying to connect, let's get to our first conversation piece. And it's funny, before we came on live, I didn't even think about this story, but I mean, the ladies had to remind me, and it seems so long ago, but someone was arrested last week.
Oh,
Was I
right.
happy? Was I happy?
Ooh, oh yes.
And I'm going, oh my. It seems so long ago, and there's so much stuff that's happened. It's like not even a news story anymore.
Isn't that wild that it's not
Yeah,
a news story?
Like
what
It's
is
not even in the cycle at the moment. It's not cycling up.
No.
You know, it was wore us
So-
out with it.
What did you ladies think? Did you think you're actually seeing it be a reality?
I was shocked because I never thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So it was really shocking to me. It was great. It was incredible to see New York tell Marjorie Taylor Greene where to go, because, you know, that was just how New Yorkers showed up just specifically. You know, they weren't going to have it. Yeah, his vibration is definitely, it's changed. Trump's vibration with his people. It's over. You know, the Republicans have figured out how to do more dastardly, evil things after that to have erased what happened. It's crazy. Crazy.
I didn't
Well,
watch.
I did find out that they offered to let him do this online. You know
what?
Yes, they did. They offered to let him do this online instead of coming to New York. And so I think it was a power play. He thought that it was going to be better for him if he showed up with the people to show that he's so stoic and he's doing what he needs to do. But I think that he saw that backfired very easily. And you could see it all over his face. You know, he's always very pompous. He's always, except, you know, of course, when he was out there raising his fist and stuff, we don't even know what the hell that means. You know, and he just looks awkward and stupid doing it. But, you know, I think he had more support than what he thinks that he does. And then all the loonies have been let out of the band. So, you know, all his loonies and cronies are going to be there. But they got a rude awakening on this is no joke. Out of 34 felonies, something's got to stick.
Yeah, totally. You're so right about that. You can't skate on all 34. You know, the odds aren't too good. And I spent some time in Vegas after leaving the symposium, so I can tell you that as a betting woman at this point, yeah, that would be a no-go, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's interesting. I think that it's a sad day for America, regardless.
Yes.
It's a really sad day. And also, like I said, I didn't even think about it. Again, if you ladies didn't tell me before I went live, I wouldn't have put it as a conversation piece.
And you know, that's kind of sad because we've been talking about this and we've been wanting it and wanting it and wanting it. And then when it happens, it's like all the hot air was let out of the balloon and it was like,
But were some of us equally hoping there'd be a big mass and it didn't happen? So it was like almost like a disappointment.
Yeah.
I think the media was looking for that. I wasn't looking for it, but New Yorkers weren't going to do that. That was not how New Yorkers were going to handle it. They were going to just, like Michael Rappaport was like calling MTG, you animal. I mean, it was just like watching.
Oh yeah, that guy who yelled at Marjorie Taylor. Oh wow, he went full at her.
That's the actor, Michael.
That's
Rappaport.
New York.
Yeah, I love Michael Rappaport.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he stepped to it. He gave her a dose of medicine. You know, you can't be selling wolf tickets and then you can't deliver nothing when you show up in New York.
That's
and
right.
that goes for Donald Trump too.
Well,
it was
she's
like
she's
woof,
protected
okay.
in her bubble of fakeness. You know, like all of them are. They're protected in their bubble of
Right.
people who fall for their shit. New Yorkers do not.
No, they don't.
So
They keep
they
it
were ready for that.
100. Yeah. If she
So-
said something that resonated with them, they would have had her back. But she stepped like a fucking. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to watch
It's
my
all right.
language.
No, Jill,
She
just
had-
be yourself, please.
She had all of her Secret Service and everything around, and it was just like, you are in the wrong town. I mean, I live there too. This is not the place, because it's nobody has time for your BS and the illusion of it. Donald Trump, I mean, as we know, they've basically got the count of him giving money to his doorman, which goes back to that story of that he did have a child
Love
with
child.
a love child with the maid. Remember, we talked about this
What?
ages ago. And then there was just so many
there.
payoffs, and he just got paid. What's crazy is you can pay people off and do it the legal way, but he got greedy. He had to dip in and get more money, and then charge it as legal fees to his, as if the attorneys it was a legal bill. So it's always something stupid that gets the whole criminal. Like,
Well,
that's crazy.
before I get into some more comments, April Watson says, "Nay from Tampa loves triple 40."
Oh, thank you.
But I guess in the history of the world, when it comes down to the downfall of men, it's just usually a few things: sex, money, or gambling.
Yeah, it is. It's usually one of them.
Yeah, he's done all. Yeah, he's done all. That's true. True.
I know.
He's allegedly done a little bit too much of all three. But now I hear that the next trial date is not till December.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
So how's that going to impact president? It's really funny that I'm really in a way just going, no one's talking about it.
Because I mean, it just comes and goes, and it's by that time they could be back in charge, and fascism will have taken over America, and he'll be fine.
We're seeing it right before our eyes. We're headed to civil war, and it's burning.
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
Like, how can the rest of a former president be a non-story after 2 days?
Yeah.
That's the way of the world. You're hot news for one hot second. This is why he likes to be in the spotlight at all times, and he's always doing something crazy, because you fade so fast, so quick, and that's the way of the world right now.
But even a person of his, person of his big personality gone. Wow.
He doesn't care, because all we can hope for is that the next group of indictments follow, but we'll see.
That's true. I think it's the next group of indictments will really make or break a lot of things. The next set.
And I just love how, Congress is trying to get their feet all up in this, threatening the DA. How dare you?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? All of them think they're above the damn law when it comes to them. Because as I recall, they keep on chanting, "Lock her up." Well, guess who got locked up? There you go.
And remember MTG, she rolled up with the Biden aviator shades, like trying to use that as her brand.
Aviator.
It was girl, go sit down, you munchkin. You look like an Oompa Loompa. She really, I always thought she was taller, but she's Oompa Loompa size and looks like an Oompa Loompa. Scary.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, I think we have someone back.
Yay.
There she is. She is back.
Yes. My nephew saved me, so.
Oh, nice.
All right. So we're just getting you, if you can catch up. What did you think about the arrest?
Oh, it was good TV. It was so good. LaLa and I were texting each other. It was excellent. Oh, look, the only thing that was missing was the popcorn, the tea, and the handcuffs.
Yep, exactly.
Wow.
It was good. I have to admit, I sat and watched all of it. There were key moments. There were a lot of things, though, that I was extremely disappointed in the fact that, he did get a lot of special treatment. And I'm sorry, if you are charged with 34 felonies, you need to be treated as such. And this goes to show you that the privileged always get, special privileges. And I literally turned to my husband. I said, I don't know how I feel about knowing, how am I going to trust that my sisters are going to get justice when at his level, I can see that he's, we're not going to get justice that way. So how can I expect someone on that level and still get something on my level to get something done? It's really appalling.
I can't believe that he had the option of Zooming his.
Yes.
Who does that?
The privileged. And guys, I do believe he raised like $5 million.
Yes.
7.
Yes.
It's 7 now because Lindsey Graham went on TV boo-hoo crying, saying, "Oh, if you have $1 or $5 or just some prayers for Trump, the quote unquote billionaire." What does a billionaire need $1 bills from for people who can barely afford to buy eggs at their Walmart? That makes no sense.
Junior needs more drugs because he's been on some drugs really heavy this week.
Oh my God. Did you see that video of him right before the day before?
Yes.
He looked like he did smack, crack, coke, meth, everything. He was dipping in daddy's stash of Adderall.
Sure was.
So we got an article here for us, those who are watching live or on the replay. Article's titled "Same World, Different Planet." 45's arrest lays bare U.S. polarization.
True.
Mm. And what's so sad is that these people really think that he is being treated unfairly. What do you mean unfairly? If that was you, they would take you away in handcuffs. It might take 3 days. It might take 10 days before
you might see Rikers Island.
Before you see the judge enter a plea. What are they talking about? This was unjust. He had Secret Service. He had all kinds of security. He got to fly in on his personal jet. He walked in, was able to raise his fist before sitting there in front of the judge like Charlie Brown in Classroom.
Charlie Brown. Jill liked that one. I saw her pucker up on that one.
That's funny.
Okay. So a few quick more comments. Oh, we did have what's the LaLa t-shirt this week?
Retro.
That's nice.
All right.
It's
LaLa,
cute. I like the cassette.
Yes. You need to release a line of t-shirts.
I'm thinking about it.
There you go, Miss International. Cinema Canela goes, "Hey there, greetings, ladies and Dr. Vibe." And Regina says, "Hey, Cinnamon." So this is good. Anything? So are we going to hear anything more between now and December, which is the next trial date?
No, they're going to drag it out like they do everything else.
Yeah.
Well, on Brad's point, we might not hear anything, but you would expect the district attorney's office not to talk about this in the press. But Trump's going to be running his mouth. And you know what? I don't care, because every time he says something stupid, Jack Smith's sitting there with his little legal pad.
Yep. But he always has. He can't shut up. He's one of those people where if you even advise him, you need to be quiet. He can't. It's just not in his DNA. And I absolutely love the interview that was done with his niece, Mary Trump. They were asking her some really good questions, and she was just answering them very honestly. And one of the things is he was like, "Well, what do you think he's thinking right now?" She said, "He's not. He never has, and he never will. He doesn't think because he's above everything. So he can never even put in his mind that he's guilty of anything or done anything wrong, because he's never thought that way, and he never will, and he's always had his ass saved." She said, "I think he's in for a very rude awakening for the very first time in his life." And she was serious about that. I mean, it was all written. She was like, "Yeah, y'all don't know. He's not even comprehending what's going on." not the true meaning of what's going on.
I think if he's allowed to run again, he's going to win. And I think that it will be the end of America.
Yes.
And I think there will be some real treacherous things going on. And I believe that all of the people lining up across the world with their authoritarian leadership, that sort of everybody's sort of staving off and fighting, I think that they will be fighting very hard because it's going to happen in a horrible way if people don't, in fact, I don't think people are woke enough.
They're not.
I said it before.
They're not
woke enough. You've got people not only just running with the apocalyptic theme, biblical themes, you've got even new age themes of apocalypse happening, of the star seed people.
Yes.
The rainbow children. It's all moving in the same direction. And, it really is feeding. It's feeding. You can say those are part conspiracy, the QAnon, but there's other pockets that are happening of just utter dismantling of people's minds. They are afraid, and people are coming apart at the seams. And so within all of that, there's going to have to be a solution taken. Like, what do we do with these people who have clearly lost, some may have lost their minds, or are trying to bring something to fruition, their own private Armageddons. People are actually seeking to bring Armageddon.
Yes.
And in whatever way. So this is where it gets into the scary world of digital IDs, digital lockdowns, digital, all of it happening. And, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I am a person who has an observation of people with their guns and what they're doing. And these people are being so efficient in Congress, in the lobby groups. The worst thing is Republicans have an intention.
Yeah.
Democrats
for years. They were waiting for the right time
to say, this is our thing. We got to fight back. You can't, just when people were saying to me about be nice about Caitlyn Jenner and stop calling her Bruce. Well, the issue is we are at the point on the precipice where we are now drawing our lines in the sand. And I'll be damned if I call that bitch Caitlyn. She's Bruce. He's Bruce. I don't give somebody that respect. And this is why you will not see me straddling the fence, because I'm drawing my line. And we're going to have to do it about everything, guys. It's coming. It is coming. It is, you will stand up against gun control. I want them all done. I want every single gun gone. And if there's an authoritarian regime that came in and walked into people's homes and took it, I'd be very happy.
Well, here's the thing. This is the scary thing about what you just said. If he runs, he wins. In World War II, there was the axis of evil. If Trump wins, we will become part of that axis of evil with Russia, China, Iran, and all these other places that are trying to merge together to form their coalition. We're going to be a part of it. We're going to be a part of it. And what happened in World War II when they formed their axis of evil? There was genocide. And they're going to start picking off people. And the way that they're starting to do it now is getting rid of people who are in power and politics, who want to do social change. They're changing the state laws. So for our next, with our next conversation, so they can rule out certain people. They want to be total super majorities in every state at every level and have their fur in the White House.
And TikTok and social media have been collecting that information. It's not just for fun and games. They don't want people to have fun. Are people fucking crazy? They don't want you to have fun. It's bait. And people we've taken the bait. I closed my TikTok account.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
And
there will be others.
Very fair, because we're the first ones that they're going to take out.
Yeah.
We're already seeing that this week.
Because we're the most powerful that could come, and with our military. But what they've done is they've messed up all of the minds of our people here. And this is for real what's happening. It's really for real. All what happened during the pandemic, if you look at China, with the lockdowns, those were tests. The whole thing was a test. Even with killing the Uyghurs and the genocide, nobody did anything. So who you going to call? Ghostbusters? Because ain't nobody going to come for your ass when they start like gassing us. And what is happening right now in Iran? They gassed a bunch of kids, little girls in school today. And guess what? Nobody's there. Not out of all the men who are globally in the world, not one motherfucker of leadership gives a fuck about what's happening to those kids in Iran. As a matter of fact, if you put your real thinking cap on, you would almost step back and say, maybe they're all in this together.
Yep.
You think? And then don't forget the money component.
Because where the fuck is our DOJ?
You know, Simone Sanders said that today. And remember, she used to work for the Biden administration. And she was like, where is our DOJ? Merrick Garland, where are you?
And I'm frankly tired of asking about them. But like I said, Justice Kagan, fire his daughter then. Why should she eat when the rest of us won't?
True.
She's got daddy's money. But
All right.
it's just coming down to this page of, we are at the page in the book where we all are going to be held accountable and see what we stand for. But it sure ain't sticking up for someone like Donald Trump, because if anything, I would almost think that they're in on it, all of them, and the joke's on us.
Yeah.
And follow the money, like LaLa said.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
what
So let's move forward. Regina says, prediction, the Fed case of classified docs indictment is next. The Hannity clip cemented it. That will happen by June.
Well, don't forget, there's also next week the defamation case against him. That don't forget that. That's going to be the first thing that comes after this arrest before December.
Which one is that?
What's her name? Carol, EJ Carroll, suing him for defamation on the rape case.
Yes, I know a little bit about that case.
Yes. Isn't that the one where he didn't want to give up his DNA?
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? You didn't want to give it up. There's some problem, because you know what? It's real easy to get DNA right nowadays.
Okay. I must. All right. So one other thing. Good evening from Dr. Tachi. Welcome, Dr. Tachi. Hope you're doing fine. Dr. Tachi hosts Mediascope, the livest online show about media, tech, and pop culture. Wednesday afternoons, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Instagram Live, and then on 6 p.m. on Eastern Time on Wednesdays. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, other things. I don't know, but there's so many things. But good to have you here, Dr. Tachi. And one other thing we'll just do here, forgot to say this. Hey, if you are up to it, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. If you subscribe to it on YouTube, also hit the notification button so you will get notified when, especially this conversation is coming up. Like it on Facebook and whatever other platforms you are watching it on. All right, let's go to another. This is probably the big consuming story politically in America this week. Republican-controlled Tennessee House votes to expel 2 Black Democrats for gun control protests. Who wants to start on this one?
Well, I went to graduate school in Tennessee, Nashville, because I went to Fisk University. I also interned at the NAACP there. And, you know, Justin Jones is alum. And I was so disgusted. I mean, just, ugh. I mean, I know Tennessee is like that. You know, when you go outside of Memphis, you go outside of Nashville, you go outside of Knoxville, you're in this rural thing. It's like with Georgia. When you go outside of Atlanta, you're in Georgia. Mm-hmm. But this, if you don't want to do anything about gun violence, just say it. Just say it. I said on Twitter, I'm convinced they hate their kids, because instead of talking about what happened, just 1 week after this happens, instead of trying to fix the problem, they started that day. They started Thursday by voting to give teachers guns. Okay. Yes. Then they went and they did this vote to expel, but they did so much dirty stuff before they got to the expulsion. when they went to go talk about it and they went to go do debate on the floor, what they do, they turned off their mics. They turned off their mics. That's why the bullhorn came out. And you know, the forum, they've been after them for a while, is what I've realized. Because one's been there for 90 days, less than 90, the other for less than 60. And the complaints started with Justin Pearson's hair. They said his hair didn't.
And it's always our hair. What the shit?
Right. The other Justin wore a dashiki, and they were mad about that. And then I was hearing today that secretly they had started trying to figure out how to get rid of them, because both of them had been protesting at the State House years before they were elected.
Yeah.
Justin Jones said he was arrested 14 times at the State House for protesting. So this was something that they planned. They worked hard at it, and that the woman here, she said that when it came time for them to do their debate, that they could only speak for 5 minutes, but everyone else got ample time to criticize. It's nasty. This is where we are. And I promise you, this isn't the only State House that this is happening in.
No.
This one, we're just seeing it because there was a shooting there, and that was the pertinent issue. And the Republicans tried so hard to divert from the issue. And so I'm convinced they hate kids. They hate their own kids. They like fetuses. They like embryos. But once those kids come out, you know what? This is what they're doing to them about their lives. Forget you. We don't care if you live or die. Because they don't believe that this could happen to their own kids. They don't believe this could happen to their own kids. Your wealth, your power is not going to protect them from a bullet. It's not a bulletproof vest. Anybody can be killed. I mean, we know this because what? Steve Scalise and Gabby Giffords, both in positions of political power, were shot. And Steve Scalise, I'm gonna tell you something. The devil's coming for him, because if you can be shot within an inch of your life and then turn around and say, we don't have a gun violence problem, something's wrong with you.
No, somebody's lying in that pocket. Money's better than life for him. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem. But we all know that this has all been set up. This has been set up this way, and each week, every day, we are seeing something laid out that is setting a new precedent, and basically kind of baby spooning them. Ooh, we're gonna do this week. Ooh, we're gonna do this week. And you're so outraged for something the week before that you can't even react to that because another one's coming out tomorrow. This is a very dangerous thing. And here's what's even more dangerous. The fact that they're talking about getting them reinstated legally to get back in. And the people who voted them out said, guess what? We're not going to give you your money if you put them back in here. Excuse me?
Not just the city of Memphis, the whole county, the whole Shelby County. They're not going to fund the schools. They don't want to fund the renovation of the FedEx theater, which is why I tweeted at the next people to go there: Lizzo, Janet Jackson, Ludacris, Babyface, Anita, and Anita Baker. Don't go.
I wish that's the problem, though, Aisha. That's what bothers me the most is
there's no solidarity, none.
What?
Nope.
And there, people should have an understanding and be like, yeah, I paid for these tickets, but but they have white promoters putting these. There's no black promoters, and those hillbillies will be suing all of them if they don't.
Yeah, and let's be very clear. They are trying to get him out. Tennessee has been trying to get rid of all the black people in their state legislature.
They basically have.
They started with what's his name? What's the light skinned guy they thought was gonna be the first Obama? Harold Ford Jr.
Oh,
when he was in the State House, he was so vocal. They tried to get rid of him then, and he won and went to Congress. His father was like that. They tried to get rid of his father when his father was a state senator. They tried to get rid of him in the State House. They couldn't when he went to Congress, and they knew that an election was coming up, a presidential election was coming up, and the buzz was that he was going to be a prime candidate. What did they do? they dragged out all that stuff with these fake, and it was fake. None of it was real, but the videos about him with the hookers and all this other stuff, you know, in the commercial saying, "Hi, Harold." Yeah, so
they don't care about that anymore. Neither do constituents. You see, people became normalized to all of that. They don't care if you're doing it right on the floor of Congress. They don't care. It wouldn't even shock them. Why? Because everybody's like looking at porn online anyway, and they think everybody does it. See, people equate their dirt to the dirt of their leaders. And so far, the Republican Party citizens and followers have told me that there's nothing you pieces of shit aren't capable of doing. Because when your people get accused of something, y'all don't even have a standard. You're like, come around for a bucket of chicken. You know, they're gross people. The whole entire Republican Party should take its name where it stands, which is really the Confederate Party. That's who they are. There's nothing Republican about them. Not at all. Yeah. They're fucking Confederates, and that is their intention. These bitches have been brewing and stewing for 100 fucking years. And they've had their mammies and their pappies and their grandpappies and their sister pappies and their uncle daddies, all of those motherfuckers feeding into this for years. That's why they don't give a shit about their kids, because all they've ever had their children for was so that they had somebody to take care of their broke asses when they're old. Yeah. That's it. Having kids was nothing to a bunch of rednecks. That's what they did. Didn't y'all ever see The Grapes of Wrath? Those motherfuckers don't give a fuck. You have kids like fucking kittens so that, you know, somebody will take care of your ass.
Have them, give them the off, send them off.
Look at the Mormons. They're the worst. Buckets of children. They're just disgusting.
Let's
fucking bullshit race piety, that sanctimonious bullshit of a bunch of fucking hypocrites, Mitt Romney included. Go fucking eat your money and choke, you old fucking crotchety old fuck.
Let's be clear, though.
Useless. Why doesn't he just quit? Go to your fucking bunker. Hey, by the way, I heard bunkers were flooding. Maybe they'll fucking drown in them.
They are flooding. They are flooding.
And, you know, let's be clear. It's if you worship the Confederate Party, the Confederacy, which all these states, particularly in the Bible Belt, do. Mississippi, they tried to put trying to pass a law to have like Confederate month or whatever. If you can say that you worship the Confederacy, do not call yourself a patriot. Those are traitors. Those are insurrectionists. Those are people who, you know, they left the Union. And personally, you know how I feel right now? If that's what you feel like, leave the Union and let the rest of us live. Just go govern yourselves. You know what? Go govern yourselves.
No, right. How about we cut them off? Let's just don't give them any more fucking money. That would be my thing. And here's what kills me. The way they voted these poor men out, Aisha and LaLa, it's like, oh, that who heard about that? I didn't know. Why didn't we do that with Manchin? Why didn't we do that with Cinema? Right. What the fuck are our Democrats doing? And that is why there's no fucking Democrat that will get a motherfucking dime from me. Maybe Newsom, because he's still swinging over here at these bitches. And I'm okay with that because I want you to fight dirty. And, you know, if somebody's slinging mud at me, I don't sit there and go, oh, it's mud. I'm going to take my ass down there and I will put that mud on a stick and beat your ass with it. Because the reality is, this is where we are. So everybody, they're going to shut down their schools. They're going to do everything. So if the businesses that I frequent or I use are still saying nothing about this in Tennessee, you won't get my fucking money either. That's just the way it is. I haven't heard any musicians coming out. No. You know, those wrangling bullshit country artists who all of a sudden, hey, motherfuckers, all you guys are doing is replicating the 80s music. Okay.
Well, they voted for them. So that, I mean, that's the reason why they're not saying anything.
No, really. It's like, give me a fucking break. It's ridiculous. Not one has said a word.
No.
Not one.
None.
And I think that maybe I would like to see Ford stop making trucks for those bitches too. Stop it. Don't give them any fucking trucks.
Remember,
all right.
Do something phenomenal. Make something happen. Find a law in a book. I don't care. Democrats, find it, because the Republicans are finding it and they're doing it.
Well, this is what happened. This is the result of the gutting of the Voting Rights Act.
Yes.
What was that key tenet that they took out? That
Yeah, but they're not going to do it. I mean, that's not,
like
we got the next steps.
But the original Voting Rights Act, if stuff like this happened, the federal government had oversight over those states and their elections.
The federal government has failed us. And if they don't step up with Merrick Garland, I'm going to actually assume that this kabuki theater is being orchestrated by all these white motherfuckers.
But
Sorry.
the problem we have now is that they can't. The DOJ cannot do anything because they took the provision that gave them the power to do that out.
I don't know. These people are finding archaic laws, Aisha. I don't believe that. They are digging up bones.
You don't believe it. I mean, but that's how that's why we got the right to vote in those states in the first
Well, then, okay, next time we see a bunch of people swinging from the rooftops of Capitol Hill, then let's just keep saying we can't do anything, because that ain't going to fly very much.
Okay.
They really don't.
Let me just jump in for a minute. Dr. Chachi says, keep in mind that we're dealing with people that are none too bright. Daft people are threatened by intelligence. Since they can't fight with intelligence, they use brute force and political tricks. She also says many Democrats are too busy turning the other cheek and making nice. Nice is not within their realm of experience. As soon as you turn your cheek, the GOP is there to slap the other one.
And I was kind of pissed at the Democrats in Tennessee in that house.
She's got more comments here. When people are mediocre themselves, they always aim to extinguish the brightest stars. The Republicans are in the Tennessee House could never. And also, she also says what needs to happen is a massive boycott of events, conventions. Don't play there, don't go there. The only language they can comprehend is money.
It's money.
It hurt South Carolina, that boycott over the flag. It really did. And you know what? They have an NFL team. No NFL team should play full of black players. Don't play there. NCAA, University of Tennessee, Knoxville, don't play there.
That's right.
But
so let's go to another end of this. Did we not? I hope we did not find it strange that 2 black men were kicked out, but the non-delegated lady was not.
I think they expected it. It's Tennessee. Let me tell you, the Klan is out there brazenly. These people were talking about the statue of Nathan Bedford Forrest in the State House on I-65 when you drive your car down there. And I used to pass it all the time when I had to go back to my apartment from campus. There is a huge demonic looking statue of that same of the KKK. And the black folks had tried to take it down. And you know what happened? They told them they couldn't because it was on private property, even though it faces the interstate, but it's on private property.
So you can't do anything. And they're doing the same thing with these huge crosses right now in Georgia and other states. And what they're doing is they're actually asking people who own that land to donate that for them to erect these type of statues. You better bet that ain't only going to be just the crosses that's happening. It's happening right before our eyes. And I'm telling you, coming up from Florida to Kentucky, because I'm all over the place right now. Half the time I have to ask myself where I'm at. I'm passing these huge, massive Confederate flags just flying everywhere, just high and proud. And every time I just get so sick to my stomach. They're just right there. Right beside the road.
Why are they flags have to be so big? They do it with the Trump flags. I drove down the street. The flag was bigger than the building.
Yes.
It was
because they're going to make sure that kids, like I grew up in that type of environment. So this is not even like, they want you all to, they're educating your young kids to know their place, to know that they are lower than they are. That's what's happening. It's sort of an indoctrination of living in these conditions, and it's trauma. It's actual trauma is happening in these places. And you'll start to see grown people talking to your young children like that. This is what is going to happen. And unfortunately, here's the thing. I feel that if you believe that angels walk amongst us, you better believe that so do devils.
Got that right.
Yes.
So
They're
Dr.
very-
Chachi says, I mean, if you're going to do some racist stuff, can you at least make it look like it's not racist by also ousting the non-melanated woman? They didn't even try.
Well, that
Yeah,
was the
they don't
point.
care.
That
They're
was the
not
point.
trying to
That was the
hide it.
message. That was the message.
But that was how it was always. I don't know if you guys ever, that's how it always was.
Mhm.
It is. It's nothing new. I think that
Yeah,
black people are having a hard time understanding why they're so nice and really, polite, Southern nice about how we're going to do it. That's how it goes. Hey, boy.
Why should anyone be surprised that the non-melanated person didn't get kicked out?
No.
I should be surprised that it's gotten as far as it has.
And you
But
should
There's only a few more steps.
Has she said anything at all about this?
Yes,
She's
she actually
back
is.
in the line.
She's been talking on TV all day today about how it was racist that they did her. But you know what though? They're going even further. Push her aside.
Yeah, right, they are.
If you've looked at the media on the right, they have taken the footage of Jonathan Pearson and they put a filter over it so it looks like 1972.
Yep.
And the point of it is to remind people about the Black Panthers, about Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, all those people that they found scary.
Ooh, the scary Black people are coming. Be afraid, everybody. Hide your wives, because you know what? They all want our women.
I got an interesting, and this again, the gun lobby and the whole bit, and it just shows how, just in my thought, how awry the American political system and American society has gotten. But Jill, I want to ask you a question. What would have happened if the two young Black gentlemen went on that floor and they were protesting for reparations? Would the Democratic Party be supporting them?
The Democratic Party is weak. No, they don't know how. They didn't even know how to support Jamal, the representative, the other day when he was talking about the children gunned down in Tennessee. The Democrats as a whole are prep school, little rich kids that don't know about a fight, and they're not scrappy enough. And it's really a shame because reparations. Yeah, I don't know. There'll never be reparations.
I'm wondering when that's going to happen sometime in the near future. It's going to be very interesting to see how because
not
in Tennessee. They will never see a dime. Never.
You know, Dr. Wynn, but she already tried that there. That's not going to happen. But you know what? If they went down there and they said, you know what? Yeah, give us guns. The way that they're doing that video with Justin Pearson, trying to scare people and put that in their heads. If he went there and said, yeah, you know what? I think I want more guns for my community with his afro and his powerful voice, you know what they would have done? Oh, we need gun laws.
You damn right. Because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Just like in Breonna Taylor thing, when our men showed up with their rights to bear arms, oh my God, all hell broke loose. How dare these Black men show up with guns? You walking into Walmart with a whole arsenal on your back. So you can't stand the fact that people like us can carry as well.
It was very interesting being a melanated man to watch this situation, and it just reinforced which is always that a lot of people say not that the real Teflons in American society are the non-melanated women.
Come to America, stay for the racism.
Yeah.
Is that the new ... when you cross the border?
It should be.
That's our new motto. That's the motto.
I don't know why anybody wants to come here. All these people want to come to America for what? This ain't the great American melting pot like we heard on Schoolhouse Rock. It's been racist from the very, very beginning.
They make their money and go back to their homelands. They never stay. They all send money home no matter what. Nobody, and even the billionaires now aren't even claiming residency here. They're like living in Monaco and places like that. They don't need it. It is just where they're corporate. It's a corporate sludge place. You know, it's where corporations go to really exploit people. And And now with the whole BRICS community economy coming together, what
Yeah.
their intention is to destroy America, period.
And they're going
So,
to do it.
and people know that they have the capability of doing it. So rich people have already bailed out on America. They sold her out
And
a
let's be
while
clear,
ago.
they're going after one of those black men harder than the other. The media has like not had him on at all.
Oh,
And
the worst one was Van Jones. Lord have mercy.
Oh, God.
When Trump got arrested, he goes, "Grandpa," like, bitch.
But now he's all
Somebody's
quiet, right?
grandpa. It
Now
was
he
like,
has nothing to say. And going after Justin Pearson the way that they are, as opposed to Justin Jones, it is deliberate because he really scares them. And I'll tell you, they're going after his dish. It's I thought about it and I wrote a thread about it earlier, but I had to think about it. They're cutting off his. They want to cut off his district. They don't want to do.
but
they want to cut off his district. And you know what? The schools in Memphis, almost 74% of them are black kids in those schools. Tennessee also has compulsory attendance laws. What happens when kids don't? If you can't afford to open your schools, kids go to jail. They
legally have the right to put them in the prison system and get rid of them immediately. It's dangerous for them. But let me tell you something. We need to stop focusing on. We need the names of who all of them are, and we need to do some business.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do some investigation in Marsha Blackburn and really dig into that cunt because she is too much for me. I can't stand that old bitch.
And when kids go to prison, they get records, and what happens? They can't.
And then they can't vote.
That's right.
Yep. And look, we're gonna smack all your hands for voting for him.
That's exactly what they want to do. So I don't know. We need our own billionaires to step up. And really
their money is tied to these people.
No, we got to put the pressure on some of them, and we got to go after Lizzo or people and say, don't do the show. Janet Jackson, are you so fucking desperate to do a show in Tennessee? To do what? Have half your fans get arrested on the way out? I mean, seriously, she's a 50-something-year-old woman. It's stand for something. And I'm sure she has, but this is more important right now. Don't play Tennessee. Don't bring revenue to the state. Fuck them. But this is going to be a hard time for many people. But like I said, we will start to see people's colors.
Yep. You know what I played Thursday
night? A lot of people are green, guys. A lot of people are green.
Yeah. You know what I played Thursday night after all this? I needed a break. I played Tennessee by Arrested Development because that song, here we are. We are in that song.
Okay. Let's get some last comment. We're going to move on to the next conversation. Dr. Tachi says Americans are trying to get out of Dodge here because of many factors, but including the high cost of living. Places like Central and South America, Southeast Asia, etc., are full of American expats. Very true. Mm-hmm. Very true.
I'm seeing it.
And as I said,
other countries don't let our trash in.
And so this whole situation too. There's so many different avenues to it. Racism, the whole area of gun laws, the lack of political effectiveness. It's a great microcosm of America right now. This whole scene is
it's
just
the Hunger Games.
America was on one this week.
Well, that's exactly it, Jill.
It's the Hunger Games. And it will be the Hunger Games. And at that point, when they start letting us into zones, I just I know my ass won't be here. None of us probably will be here, but I'll tell you something. Our children's children will be here. But they are definitely lining it up like the Hunger Games because they thought that was a great idea. Because China's already doing zones. You can't just move from one part of China to another. You can't just pick up and get a job and go. They don't allow it. So now they've gotten it to the point where with their digital IDs, they go and there's gates, sort of like at the subway, to get into the next zone. And if their social reputation score is too low, then they can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to the next conversation.
Dr. Vibe. Democrats, you have two issues to run on: gun violence, reproductive rights. Leave all the other stuff alone because you can't deal with the other stuff unless you're elected. focus, and get a message together.
What about the economy?
Wait,
They can't run on it.
I'm sorry, but these are the two issues that
Okay.
have fired people up enough to vote.
Okay. All right.
They can deal with it after.
Okay. Next issue. Next conversation. Texas judge halts FDA approval of abortion bill.
See, they just keep winning. Sorry. The Republicans are literally winning. And I'm tired. I feel like I'm with the New York Knicks in the 90s, being with a Democrat. There was a point where it was like, oh my God, they're just losing. It's terrible. Losers.
The judge in Washington State, however, our federal government's not doing anything right now. The judge in Washington State is pushing this, is forcing this to go to a higher place, because he actually filed an opposing, and gave an opposing opinion on the same thing, but his was based on facts and things. And he included 17 states in it. My state happened to be one of those states. I just happened to see it on TV. I was like, oh, but this judge, he was put there on purpose. He got his orders going in, and he's doing the work that they told him he needed to do. He was recruited specifically because he's a bobblehead, and it's, yep, I'll do whatever. Mm-hmm. And this right here, no state, no one person should be able to, if abortion is supposed to be left to the state from the Dobbs decision, no one person in one state should be able to control what happens to the rest of us.
Anyone want to add?
No, because I don't have that much faith in any of them. I'm not going to, it's like we got strung along with the next handout to help this situation. And it's just the fatigue of getting beaten this country doesn't have the legs to stand up and fight it. It's every day. It's like every day you hear about Disney, you hear about this, you hear about DeSantis. Basically, it looks like their strategy is just right hook, left hook, left hook, every day, beat the bitch, beat the bitch, beat the bitch, beat the shit out of people, psychically, physically, mentally. Every single day you will wear them down. These people are not human. They are possessed demons that have inhabited. I'm sorry. I just really saw the way they were looking, and this, like, it's like we're in a freaking Twilight Zone, a Rod Serling movie, that these people are not real. There's something really wrong with them. Either they've been all threatened that if you don't do this, that your ass is grass, or that there is some hidden agenda in our government that they are all told that they must be when they sign up, because there's not even one loose thread. There's not even one person that goes, wait a minute, I'm not sure on the Republican side, how do you whip people in shape like that? Not one. Not one woman.
Because it's not a political party, it's a cult. It's a cult.
No, it's something else. It's something beyond a cult. There's fear in there. There is fear, and I feel it. And it is like, I will follow orders no matter what. People can spit in my face, and I will never say what the fuck is going on here. It's like a dark society. That's what it's like. Yeah. It's like a secret society where they just don't tell you shit. That is what it feels like. Because there's not one mother on the Republican side who's even going to come up and pretend to give a shit. Think about it.
They all know what to do, because if you go to dark Twitter, you will see a whole bunch of posts, like just one after the other. They cut and paste the same language.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense.
Right, exactly.
I've never seen a Republican Party that way, ever. I mean, I'm talking in the feds in each state. These bitches are whipped in shape. It's like
they all had a high sign meeting that we didn't know about. You know what I mean? Like they all went down to their bunkers, high sign.
There's not a loose thread anywhere. Nothing.
Well, remember, they all are being led by the Crossing Bones people.
Reporters need to be asking why. Where is that? What the fuck is going on? it's really bad.
No, they too busy trying to explain how many doors. How
Yeah,
many doors are in the courthouse?
I know. And how to get more ratings. And
You know, and we forgot one thing. We said this week started with
45.
Trump's being arrested, but actually this week started last Sunday when CBS 60 Minutes did that interview with Martin
Oh
Luther King.
God,
You know,
yes.
Three toes.
why can we, if Leslie Stahl, who's supposed to be a respected journalist, sat there when this woman said Democrats are pedophiles and said, wow, that's all she said.
She got a memo too. She got a memo. She got a letter. That's why that was that. I'm telling you,
it's not journalism anymore. It's money. It's corporate. It's about clicks. It's about viewers. It's about ratings. It's not about telling the truth. So why, if you're not going to tell the truth or anything, why do we even have the First Amendment? And I'm sorry, but our amendments, we've been amending the Constitution forever. These people want to act like you can't amend the first or the second.
Thank you.
What do you think the 13th, 14th, and 15th are about?
I know.
They amended the laws. So, you know, journalism's dead too. The country's falling apart and the journalism's dead. We can't get the truth anywhere from anyone.
No.
All I know is I'm sick to death of having this pit in my stomach. I mean, I've just this week especially. I mean, because we were hit so hard, so fast, minute by minute by minute by minute, that I literally had to put everything down to go and breathe and just go outside and say, my God, thank you for this sunshine on my face. To go back to what the simple thing is of just being here and taking a few breaths to breathe. I'm sick of being twisted. I'm sick of my stomach feeling like it's getting ready to fall out of my body because of all of this crap that we're doing in America. And a lot of my work this week was done out of the country. And speaking to people who are out of the country, they look at us and they go,
yeah,
what is happening to y'all?
Yeah.
Like
They're
literally
shocked.
said that. What's happening to you? What's happening? And they are like, they're concerned like, this is not good.
Our banks are insolvent. Fascism has taken over. And I'm not saying it as if it has taken over. Fascism has taken over in the places where it matters. See, why people aren't paying enough attention is because it isn't in the other little places where it's starting to interfere with what they want to do every day or all of that. But that's coming because they've already leveraged where they're in our legislation. But this is really for real.
When you don't exactly see it in your community and it's only on TV, it's nothing but a movie.
Right.
It's like you've been desensitized to absolutely everything. Murder, guns, racism. It's all a movie.
And it's like those lawmakers in Tennessee. When people don't leave the place or travel or go outside of their communities, they only have this one unilateral view of things. They had no idea the world was watching this. They thought they were going to be able to do it and it wasn't going to have an impact. What you did, you elevated them. You elevated them, not just nationally, but across the world. So what do? Oh yeah, we're going to pull funding or whatever. Guess what? That doesn't silence, that just elevates more. And now they're turning around, they're shocked, like, why are people mad at us?
They don't care. I hate to say it. They've done it before during Martin Luther King's Day. They don't care. They love the attention. They love the power. And they love getting America back on track the way they want it to be. See, they are winning. They're winning every day. And no matter what Democrats keep going and fighting in the courts, they're losing because Donald Trump put 900 judges in place, and now we get to see them all work, even at the lowest level.
That's exactly what they do.
And their only job is to support what the intention is, and the intention is to turn our country into being fascist.
Okay, let's move on to our last conversation piece. And is any information safe in America? New
Yeah.
batch of classified documents appears
And
on
Joe Biden should have just did a whole flex and turn off the whole fucking internet for a fucking 2 days. I just think it would have been like, yo, turn the bitch off. You know why? Because it would have been really important that our classified stuff just that can be done. See, that's the thing. Pull the plug just as a flex. It's like when you have a bunch of bad kids somewhere and you throw a bunch of water on them, you know, when they're fighting, that's what you needed. He needed to throw some water on this and be like, wait a minute, were we going to sit up here and twiddle our thumbs again? But Joe Biden wasn't really a great dad. He has a really fucked up son and the other one died. He's one of those parents who spared the rod and spoiled the child. I'm sorry. I look at his kids and go, what the fuck? You are supposed to be running this country and the people in it, and you need to fucking flex. You need to like have a little bit of discipline. We don't need that, hey, you know, whatever, ho-hum, stand in the corner bullshit, time out.
Well, this is when you pull Merrick Garland out of his office and he goes
fire him, get rid of him. His ass needs to go.
Mm-hmm. And do it publicly so we can all see it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What does it say about all these documents? What's going on, man? It's just like
no information is safe here. None of it's safe. It's just your life is an open book, and anybody can take anything at any point. I mean, people can take your voice. Like right now, somebody can capture our voices and then go ahead and make phone calls and all kinds of things because they did, did something. They can take your signature and go ahead and they can take everything. There's nothing that is safe. There's nothing that's private. There's nothing that's sacred. Nothing. Everything is exposed.
But that's not acceptable. And it's not acceptable for how we're responding to it. Because for me, like I said, I bagged TikTok. I got rid of it. I don't need to see some bunch of silly ass people wasting food just to get a bunch of likes. Everybody's prostituting themselves online essentially anyway. So this is where we are. It's dystopian. And we're getting to the point of like, oh, it's okay to have stuff online about people. I don't think so. I just think the way that the White House handled it wasn't cool because China would have turned it off. And I think we should have done exactly, do the unexpected. How come, always the good guy, gee, I wonder what we're going to do. Turn the shit off. Make a whole day where people are like going, oh my God, I couldn't do shit. Yeah.
Well, he's not going to, he can't really do anything because why? They found classified documents in his house too.
Yeah, but why can't you just shut down the internet for a couple days till the shit disappears offline? Why? Why not just close up Twitter for one day, shut down Instagram, shut down Facebook, shut down TikTok, shut it all the fuck down? I don't know. Is that impossible?
I think it might be because remember, once something's out there,
it's not impossible because I know there are states that do it blackouts during wartime. We know that Ukraine did it.
It's got to be possible because it's got to be possible because if China does it, can do it, I'm sure America can do it.
But they also restrict what people have access to as well. We do not.
Well, maybe we need to because now I think we need to stop fucking around. TikTok, bye, see ya. Because isn't it interesting? More classified documents, Everybody sitting up here saying Julian Assange. He wasn't wrong. There's some messed up things he did, but there are some things that you're kind of like, yo, he said this stuff. Come on.
Even though we all connect by,
and I can't deal with him either.
I sit here and I'm like, it's not a useful thing at this point.
The internet? No, it's not. It's aggressive. It gives me a tremendous amount of anxiety when I go online. I hate it now. I want to sometimes just go on Instagram without being assaulted with everybody and their goddamn bad music taste. I can't handle it. I can't. I really don't like it. I'm like, I just want to chill and look at something without it being like, do you want to buy this? Look at this. Look how easy it is. Look, I'm going to make potato soup in my kitchen sink. You know, it's like, what the fuck? It's very frenetic and it is dystopian to me. I mean, when I see people doing that, I'm like, wow, you really need coins that bad? Like, this is what you do? Waste food that, you know, other people, we're just a sick society. Sick. And people wonder why people go up and do whatever they do every day. Sick as fuck.
Yeah. And you know what? It's so weird because I opened my Instagram today. I had 12 DMs by people trying to sell me Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I don't go there for that. I go there to
setting that you will only receive from people that are in your stuff. That's it. I don't tolerate those fools anymore. Anybody.
No.
If you're not in my circle, you're not going to have access to my DMs.
No.
All right.
I block people quick.
So everything's topsy-turvy, especially when classified information gets released in social media. Just
because also we don't know if it's true.
Right. Well, the thing wasn't it like with the plans from when the stuff leaked about Ukraine and their so-called plans, or Russia's so-called plans or whatever, and they were saying, well, these things look like they might be you put people, even just a little thing, people can take it. You know what? I'll tell you this. I went today to look for a particular picture of 1960s white people holding the signs that say N-word, go home.
Yeah.
Do you know that I could not find one? And I know they exist because I've seen them.
They've washed them.
They've washed them. One picture I saw, I've seen that picture in the past. I'm like, no. They changed the word to Negroes, and you look at it, and it's a different font, it's a different color, it's too high resolution, but they have scrubbed the internet of that.
That's okay. Hate doesn't get a new narrative. Funny. No matter how you try to change the sound of hate never changes. And the sound of love never changes either. But I think people, if they want to use their spidey senses, should be able to figure that out, because it's the behaviors and what we're dealing with. You know, I bought a book about the hidden influences in our society, and hidden influences of what people do and different things that have happened in focus groups. And I'd like to talk about it later, because it's very interesting how people just jump on a bandwagon with and it still is very, very much like that today. People are such cowards.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's erase history this way. I was like, they're going to erase history. They're trying to hide from their kids and their they're so upset and so afraid their kids and their grandkids are going to find out that they were holding.
It isn't just before you go, the Kanye West is being sued by 2 black school teachers who he specifically was changing the rules on black. He didn't want African-American history taught.
Nope. He would only
talk about a self-loathing man of his black color. Like, who does he think he is? Is he a Sith? You know, it's like, yo. Yo. I think there's a lot of Sith.
Oh my goodness.
It's a little strange. I see why the whole Kardashian women exchanged out after they said no more black men, because all y'all keep bringing home is crazy. So they changed out to their little, vanilla boys now.
Oh boy!
Are they bringing them crazy, or are they making them crazy?
I think that boy, to be honest with you, someone like Kanye, his mother made him crazy. That does not originate from anything else. She clearly must have had a self-loathing problem too.
I was also thinking about Lamar Odom
or a father. It doesn't. That is really a real true reflection on something he grew up with. Yeah, and it's really crazy.
All right, I think we're done. We got to Vanilla Boys. Okay, and Real Django goes LOLLOLLO.
Django, thank you for coming back.
Yes, I haven't seen you in ages.
Yes, he did make a comment in the YouTube channel to one of the conversation pieces last week, and Jen goes, great conversation,
Oh,
y'all.
Jen's so lovely.
You gotta love the Jen girl.
I know.
Yeah.
You gotta love the Jen in and out. I don't think ever since she came on, I think she's only missed 1 or 2 broadcasts. Period.
Hey, we met a guy, some people that said they watch. So yeah, Jen is always
Jen
number
is
one.
all-
I think
She and I were talking last night. She's really sweet.
Yes.
Okay, and she says, love you all, and we love you back. Love you back. Well, ladies, as always, it's time to call it an end conversation, but we can't finish it without putting up your contact information for people who are brave enough to contact you. So, so first things first, the International Realtor.
Don't be scared. Go on and reach out to me at Realty Goddess on all platforms.
All right. Next up, I think one of the most dangerous ladies in the world, in a good way.
No.
In a good way. In a good way. You didn't let me finish.
Yes.
In a good way.
Thank you. Jill D. Jones at Twitter and at Jill Jones Music at Instagram.
All right. And then finally, we have...
Nice wallpaper, by the way. I like that.
I'm at my sister's house.
Oh, I love it. I really love that. Wall covering.
You can find me at Aisha Staggers on Twitter, AK Staggers on Instagram.
Wonderful. And myself, if you want to find me, if you can get past all 3 of them, then you got me. More like if you get past me, then you got to deal with them. I like that better. I think that's a better narrative. If you can get past me, then if you pick on me, I got them on you. So Dr. Tachi says, great show. Real Django said, LaLa reminded me, smiley face. And Real Django, yeah, we miss you, man. It's been a minute. Says, hi, Dr. Tachi. And Dr. Tachi says, Real Django, you've been missed, my brother. We want you back. We want you back. So a few last things before we call it a conversation here. If you want to get in touch with me, let me do it this way. Website, thedrvibeshow.com. Email dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show. Twitter, @drvibeshow. And Instagram, The drvibeshow. If you want to catch replays of this epic conversation, you can go to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, or the website, the drvibeshow. Do we got anything else we want to make sure we get done here? So that's done. I know we have one of that's done. And also, as always, if you'd like to promote your business or service, please contact me. If you want to promote on this platform, hit me up. No, contact me. I don't want to hit me up. Contact me. dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. So, last comments. We got anybody else? Real Django says, I try. We respect that. We appreciate you trying. So, as always, we want to close off with this. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. And remember to give yourselves grace. And after our show tonight, we'll discuss. We got to have an Ask Us Anything soon. So maybe next week, but definitely in the next 2 weeks. We got to do an Ask Us Anything. So, one more comment. Don't want to. Some more coming in. Kidding in at the end. We'll get to this next week. BRICS. The whole thing about Brazil, Russia, China, India, China, and South Africa wanting to dump the US dollar. So that is in my notes for next week. We're going to talk about that. All right. So we will get to that next week. It wasn't part of our topics. I don't like to spring new topics, but we're certainly going to make sure we get to it next week. Yes, Fit Nuts IQ Cam. Thanks for staying for the whole thing. And she says, gotcha. Yes, we will put it on the tablet for next week. And she says, I'll be there. Good. I'll remind you to be there, by the way. Just like LaLa reminded Real Django, I'll remind you. So remember to give yourself grace. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and have an outstanding week. Take care.